I am your lovable host, Sir Lunch the host. I hate when I have to say host twice, but it's in my name, so don't blame me. And Brian Gab, we are good, right? Yes? No? Yes? I'm taking that as a yes. And if you guys did not know, guess who's married? Padalinko and Walrus. So wonderful that you guys are married. So glad to see the unison. And you guys work so well together. So I'm pretty sure you guys are going to die together. And in old age at 102, because that kind of sounds pretty morbid and bad. But yeah, so you guys are good. And long live your guys' marriage. Today, I have two very, very special guests whom I've known for a while, actually. A long time. And they are both from the MSP community, which is a community that I absolutely adore and I've been a part of for the longest time. And those two guests are Ma1neEvent and Isaria. We will be talking to Ma1neEvent first and then jumping over to Isaria. And with that being said, Ma1neEvent, are you there?
I am here. How are you, Sir Lunch the host?
I'm drinking. I'm an adult. I'll let that speak for itself.
It's great to be here with you.
Thank you, and thank you for showing up, and thank you also, Isaria, for showing up. I know that it can be a little bit hectic with all of our schedules, and so you have my deepest, I was going to say condolences for some reason. I don't know, but you have my deepest thanks. Not condolences. I think that's for something else. Now, Ma1neEvent. You know, I actually love your name, right? Like, I really wish that I could have been called Ma1neEvent. You know, it would suit my ego, but you got to be for me, so I can't complain. But for those of us who don't, Chuck it Fucky is into the building. What's up, Chuck it Fucky? Thank you for joining us. Thank you. You know I love you. Now, Ma1neEvent, how did you find the Steam blockchain? I know I ask every and all of my guests this question, but I actually really want people to know how you found the Steam blockchain and how's your journey been, you know, on the blockchain. And we're going to talk a little bit about some taboo stuff because, I have to throw this out there. I'm Sir Lunch, the host, and the EasyDex podcast is completely responsible for every shit shenanigan thing that I say and every opinion that I hold. I'm actually not responsible. If you have a problem with me, take it up with the bosses, Padalinko and Walrus, because they hired me. And yes, now we've got our disclaimer out of the way. Ma1neEvent, how did you find your way to the Steam It blockchain?
Well, I first heard about it on YouTube. There was a few different YouTube personalities that had kind of mentioned it, that it existed, that it was an alternative place to do, you know, social media related things, but possibly earn crypto also, you know, with that possibility of being there. And a lot of those same YouTubers were kind of implying that they were going to stay over here, but I'm not sure if they ever really did. I'd have to look back and check their profiles. But, you know, it was interesting to hear about something different. I had heard about, you know, crypto and Bitcoin, and I had missed out on buying Bitcoin when it was a lot cheaper. I was a few clicks away from doing it when it was like $9.50 or something like that, and I kind of chickened out, and ever since that had happened, I was like, man, I wish I had, you know, gotten my feet wet in crypto. And so when I heard about the Steam blockchain, I was like, well, this is a place where I see other creators going, and maybe I can follow them and possibly check it out and see what will happen. I made an account, you know, got a profile, all that type of thing, and slowly just started posting random things. You know, I enjoy collecting retro video games, so I kind of talked about that at first. I started sharing some of my amateur photography, things like that, and then, you know, over time, I slowly started discovering all of the other aspects of the platform, though. That it's so much more, of course, than just posting content or earning rewards, possibly. There's this other huge aspect of it, the community aspect of it. When I finally discovered things like Steam.chat, when I discovered things like Discord, that opened up a whole new world to me, and I started becoming a curator. I became very active in the Minnow Support Project community, and it opened up all these doors to, you know, friendships that I've made now, networking possibilities, projects that I'm working on now. It's really amazing how it started out from something so simple, you know, it's a social media website that I heard about on YouTube, to now it encompasses a lot of my time by, communicating with other Steamians, by posting, by curating. I never would have guessed that that moment of at least creating an account would have, evolved into what it is now for me, I guess.
You said something quite interesting. I also found about Steaming on YouTube via Jeff Berwick, that guy, funny guy, crazy guy, scammy guy, all the good things. Love you, Jeff Berwick. Don't hate me for that. But do you remember when there was like an influx of YouTubers coming over? I think even Agro, like the leader, I don't want to say the lead, so I don't know if he wants to be known as, but the head of MSP was like pulling over a bunch of YouTubers and stuff like that, and they kind of not are present on the platform anymore. You notice that at all?
Yes, and it seemed like that was like last summer and last fall, it seemed like. That's when I joined, was last summer, was because I was hearing it on YouTube. And yeah, I'm not sure if many of those people are still here. Maybe they'll come back. I think probably a lot of that just has to do with, cryptocurrency just still being so new and the unknown is still there and all that kind of stuff. Maybe, people are still very used to their normal way of life that they know. And this whole system and process is kind of overwhelming sometimes for people. And then the other thing is possibly maybe they weren't seeing the potential rewards that they thought they were going to see. I'm sure each one of them has a different reason. But yeah, there was quite a bit of people that seemed like that were joining like last summer into last fall, for sure.
And it just seems like, I guess I'm with you there. Like, they kind of were just like, they don't see the value, which is crazy to me because I actually ran the numbers like a while ago when I was like top vlogger of the platform for a little while. And I kind of figured out that you make more money doing it on Steam It rather than doing videos and getting paid in ads and stuff like that, which is crazy. Like 100,000, someone with 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers, they don't get paid as much as if they were actually on the platform and posting, because you get paid a lot sooner. That's one thing. And you don't have to rely on ads or worry about your things getting demonetized. But on the flip side, a lot of complaints that I've heard from YouTube people is that they only get to monetize their videos for 7 days. But then I kind of thought that was kind of like, what? If you still post it to YouTube, you're still earning there too? So it's kind of like a double plus. I don't know. People are weird like that. And I guess there is like a huge learning curve to getting into Steam and Steaming like that. So I can't knock them, but I'm glad that they're not here anymore because it makes our life so much easier. But you didn't hear that from me. Now, how's your Steaming journey been thus far?
Very unexpected, very positive overall. I mean, there has been some moments that weren't so fun, but overall, I think it's been very good. I mean, I have a lot of friends now online that I could communicate with, that if I were to travel now, I could probably, meet up with these people and say hello. I do a radio show on MSP Waves every Wednesday night with my good friend Poetic Snake. And we talk about the Steam community and chat with Steamians on there. And I mean, she's from the Netherlands. And I mean, without Steam, I would have never become a good friend with her and someone all the way over halfway around the world from me. And we do a podcast show together. So it's created a lot of amazing opportunities for me. It's expanded my enjoyment of photography because I wasn't really into it too much before joining Steam It. But, I've taken the time to get a nicer camera now, and so that's been a lot of fun. So it's helped me out in that regard. It's given me new hobbies and new ways to create and be creative. So overall, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been certainly unexpected, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I really hope that this community and everything that's been created around it is going to last for a long time.
Shout out to Snicky. I've known her for a long time. She is really, really cool indeed. Awesome person. And yeah, you're totally correct on like Steam It has connected people from like all over the world to do things together and stuff like that. Now, how long has your show, well, not your show, yours and Snaky's show been running? Like, how long have you guys had that show going?
I think I started it last year, right about this time, end of July, beginning of August, so we're coming up on a year. I originally started it by myself, but after, I think it was just only like a month or two, Poetic Snake joined me on there as well. So we're about a year.
And how has podcasting been like? What has your podcasting journey been like?
Well, we do our show live, so it's kind of like this. We're live, on Discord, and we stream in other places as well. So it starts out as a live show, and then, of course, we share the recording after. I had personally never done anything like that before. I had worked in FM radio for many years, and I've worked as a DJ at clubs and weddings and things like that. So I was fine with doing radio and doing podcasting, so it was fun for me. It has been interesting integrating that with people on the Steam blockchain, trying to network with them and get them to listen. And like I said, our show, we kind of talk about the Steam community and kind of do interviews sometimes and things like that. And so it's always interesting trying to find topics to talk about, people to bring on the show, keep it fun and interesting. But overall, the community has been very supportive. People seem to enjoy it, and we have a good time doing the show as well.
Pop quiz question. How do you feel about Ned, and how do you feel about flags? And I think I kind of set you up to fail there, because one of those could be bad, or both of those could be bad, or one of those could be good, and one of those could be bad. But we'll just start with Ned. How do you feel about Ned? And I asked that because, a while ago, Dan left the platform. Rest in peace, Dan. I don't know why you left, but you left us. So now that he's left, how do you think Ned has handled the Steam, blockchain? And do you agree with how the Steam blockchain has progressed, or do you have some things that you disagree with?
I mean, I don't have any specific criticisms or anything like that. I'm nowhere in any position to be giving any really strong opinions about anything that someone like that is doing. But I think overall it's going pretty well. I mean, of course, people would say there could be more communication with the community and things like that, maybe. But overall, I think they do a good job of getting things going, considering what this all is. I mean, it's all new territory, in my opinion. So I don't like to criticize them too much. But, hopefully this whole thing is going to stick around is my biggest thing. So it's, of course, going to take some upgrading constantly and listening to the community of what they want to do and things like that. So as far as flagging goes, I mean, I've not done much of it, and I don't know. I see both sides of the argument against them and for them. I do think that flags themselves should be something different than downvoting. I'm in that camp, that I think a flag should be utilized for people that are plagiarizing, that are doing something, scammy or phishing links or whatever, something bad, that we don't want to see on the platform, versus just opinions of quality of content. See, I think is something different than a flag, or so that type of thing. So downvoting, I think, is okay if you see some content that you think is just not worthy of a super high reward. That's where your stake comes in, that you can use that to downvote or upvote. It goes both ways. So that part of it, I guess, makes sense, because then your stake, is worth something on both sides. So, but I would like to see flags be separate from downvoting, like have them be two different things.
I agree with that. And one complaint I have against Ned, if you're listening right now, you need to share the recipe on how you have such great hair. Like, I need to get that type of hair, and I don't know why he hasn't already posted the recipe on the blockchain for the rest of us who want to get that hair. But man, I am just envious, and I just, come on, Ned, just give us the jewels, man. I need the hair, definitely. Now, have you ever been flagged in your whole entire Steam at Live main event? Like, have you ever caught a flag before?
Yep, I have. I mean, I haven't had any issues of, plagiarism or something like that, but I've had people downvote a comment or something, or I don't think I've had anything downvoted to the point where it disappeared yet. Like I've had value reduced from it or something like that, but I don't think I ever had it be flagged to oblivion type of thing. So no, thankfully no. I try to be an upstanding citizen of the Steam community. We try to do a lot of curation and positive things of, talking about the show and having people on and just things like that. I do some moderation over in the Minnow support community, so I try to stay active and do good things for the community. So hopefully I won't be catching too many flags.
I know I've caught a couple flags in my day. Ah, such good days. Now, you are a huge part of the MSP community, and it's crazy because I almost feel like the Steemit community and the MSP community, even though they're intertwined, like the MSP community has become its own thing, right? So, how has it been, being involved in MSP and your journey through MSP?
Well, it was the first community that I joined on Discord. So it was the first place I went. I was welcomed with open arms, and everyone was very friendly, and I stayed, and I've been there ever since. And I've become a curator for them. I do moderation for them. I do a radio show on MSP Waves. That community for me has been the biggest influence, I think, on my Steam career. It's just been a very positive place to be. A lot of people start there, kind of get their feet wet with chatting and interacting with other Steamians, and then of course they move on and start their own projects, which is really awesome to see. So it's just a great place for people to kind of come in, start out. You're welcome to stay your whole Steam career, or of course, learn the basics, make some friends, and then a lot of times people do kind of branch out and start joining other Discords and things like that. But it's definitely a great place to start out, and it's been a really wonderful experience for me.
Shout out to Agro. I need that official MSP Fest thing to happen so everyone in MSP can meet up together and we can all have fun. Just throwing that out there, Agro, if you hear me, if you hear this recording. Definitely need an MSP Fest. Now, how do I say this? What are your future plans for your radio show, and what are some projects that you are working on or are going to start working on in the future?
Well, the show originally was all interviews. So it was every show. We had at least 2 or 3 guests because it's a 2-hour show. We'd always have at least 2 or 3 Steamians on every show. That started to become problematic just because there were so many shows inviting Steamians on. It's, of course, a great thing that all these Steamians are getting some spotlight on them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it is a smaller community, and so we kind of started hitting a wall with where we would ask somebody to be on the show, and they would say, oh, well, I was just on, so-and-so show last week, or I'm going to be on this other show next week or something. So we've kind of shifted gears a little bit, and we're starting to just do more general Steam community conversation, just kind of our opinions, our thoughts on what's happening out there. We're going to talk about curation a lot, and just have it be a place where the audience can interact with us as well, so we can just kind of have that open dialogue with the audience live on the show. If people want to jump on the show and talk for a few minutes, that will totally be welcome. So again, our show is just called Ma1ne and Snecky, because it's myself and Poetic Snake. It's on MSP Waves every Wednesday night. It's 10 to midnight UTC time. So you can check that out if you're interested. And so that's kind of our focus going forward. We don't really have a set plan. I know we do want to kind of narrow it down a little more, but that's kind of evolving. As far as myself or whatnot, I'm just planning on being here and continuing to curate. I do a lot of curation for multiple different groups, so I'm going to try to think up some new ways to support original content creators here on Steam, and whether that's through a curation trail or something. I'm not really sure yet, so trying to work out things like that. But I do curate with Poetic Snake and her You Got Snack project, so you can check that out on her blog, and it features random Steamians, but it's always original quality content. So that's kind of the goal. It doesn't only focus on new users. It can be curating a whale, possibly, who knows. But as long as it's original content that we think people should see, that's what we're supporting on her You Got Snack curation project. So that's really cool. And so that's pretty much what I'm working on right now, and just excited to see where this whole thing goes. I think this is going to be an interesting year for the Steam community. I've been kind of saying that now for a couple of months, and it's kind of ringing true, because we got a lot coming down the pike, it seems like, with competition possibly and things like that. And again, this is all just my opinions. I'm no expert of any of this stuff. I'm still pretty new to it all myself. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting year for crypto and blockchain, and certainly the Steam community. We'll see what happens.
I definitely think it's going to be an interesting year, and I totally feel you on the whole thing where everyone wants to interview everyone. So I was actually thinking about that on Wednesday, and I think I'm going to start live streaming video of me stripping in the EasyDex podcast. So I'm going to stop doing interviews, and it's just going to be people coming in and watching me just get naked, right? I had to say naked because I wanted to use, oh, Chucky, fucky. Sir Lunch the Banfield? Oh! Oh, you cut me deep, Chucky. You cut me deep.
And I mean, just to clarify too, I mean, I'm not saying interviews are bad or anything. It's just we had done, I don't know, probably 100 interviews already on our show or something crazy. So we were just getting to the point where we were ready to do something different. So that's kind of the direction we're going.
No, I feel you there. Interviews aren't bad, but like you were saying before, you know, such a small community, you end up interviewing everyone worth interviewing in like 4 months, 5 months, right? So then you're like, oh, what can I do next? And so I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to give everyone what they really want, you know, what they really come here for. The sexy body, right? Oh, man, I love it so much. I love it so much. And to all of those who don't know, Ma1neEvent actually plays PUBG, and we play a lot. And I'm hearing myself through Ma1neEvent's mic, which is hot. Are you implying, Walrus, that I'm overweight? Yeah, you're doing Ma1neEvent. I like hearing my voice. So hold on. Now I gotta. Is that what you're saying, Walrus? I'm overweight. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, I know, Ma1neEvent, that you have a busy day today, so we're going to let you go, and I'm going to get Isaria on here. Thank you for joining us. I love you so much. Is there anything that you want to say? And please go in your Steam name in the chat.
No, just thanks for chatting with me, Sir Lunch, and yeah, we certainly get down on Xbox Live sometime, so if anybody's down with some online multiplayer or whatnot, we certainly play sometime. We're trying to get some more Steamians involved, I think that would be fun. But yeah,
and we're super pro, by the way.
We do all right.
We get chicken dinners like once every 3 weeks, so we're good.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for having me, and we'll talk soon.
Very much so, and thank you, brother. See you soon.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Now, sorry.
Hello.
Ma1neEvent, I need you to mute yourself, brother. There we go. Sorry, yeah.
Sir Lunch, how are you?
I'm doing great. Oh my God, sorry. You're super duper multi-talented. Not only do you host the show, but you also create wonderful music, and that's how I actually found out about you first, is through music. So my first question, before I even ask you how you joined the Steam blockchain, and oh, Walrus, really? Oh, you guys are cutting me so deep right now.
Alright, well, now we know you have to make your own video now and show us what, is it the guy by the pool? Is it this guy?
Definitely. You know what? I'm definitely going to have to make my own video. I have to quiet down this, the critics. So, sorry. One thing that I truly, and I mean this from the bottom of my drunkard heart, and I'm always drunk, of course, but I deeply am in love with your music.
Oh.
You make some really fantastic music. So my first question is going to be, how did you find music, or how did music find you? And yeah, we'll just start with that one. How did you get into making music?
Well, thank you. I love your music too. How did I get into? Yeah, when I first joined, I remember seeing some music you put up. I was really impressed. You had some blockchain music and then video with it. It was really cool. How did I get into music? I don't know. I was always obsessed with music. I played piano when I was younger. I was in symphonic band. I was a band geek. I was in the jazz band. And when I went to college, I just said I had no idea what I was going to do. So I was like, screw it, and I'll major in music and be poor. And, why not? And I studied classical guitar, and then that's in college is where I started writing music. And then after college, I did some further schooling to be a recording engineer, which I ended up discovering that I didn't want to do, but whatever. And, but, you know, I ended up buying my own kind of small studio, and I just make recordings, you know, for fun and post them, and yeah, it's fun.
Oh my God, shout out to the artist struggle when you want to create music, but then nobody wants to really pay you for it, even though they tell you that you make great music, and then you have to eat top ramen for like 10 years.
I
know. The struggles are real, everyone, I'm telling you. You don't know how many times people are like, I love your music, and I'm like, only if that could get me a steak dinner tonight.
Right. Your love is not paying my bills.
Oh man, it's an artist struggle, and anyone who's an artist knows exactly what we're talking about. Now, staying on the topic of music, there's one piece of music that I heard that just melted my heart and melted me in my seat, and it was a piece that you did for Steam Monsters. How did that inspiration and how did that whole thing come about, right? Because like, it's just so, like, I promise you guys, if you haven't heard it, it's like, it took me to like the land of Lord of the Rings, and then then it took me to like, to a magical place. It was so great. Like, I cannot stop listening to it. Pure art at its finest. And sometimes I hate the blockchain for one reason, that we did not come together, band together, a strong community group, and take Isaria to a record label and get her signed for that, because gosh darn it, Jeebus, that freaking song would make me. So without me going more deeper into my feelings about it, how did the inspiration for that come about, and where did it all come from?
Oh, thank you so much for your passionate compliment. I love that. Yeah, I heard it in my head. And that's the easiest, right? When you hear music in your head, that's, you know, you don't have to really struggle with writing it, so that was awesome. Igor wanted me to write some fantasy music, but he said he wanted it to be positive. He's a positive dude. So, I just put, I'm a little bit on the darker side, but, you know, I was working on Steam and stuff, and I just put a YouTube video up of, I searched for positive fantasy music, and I just absorbed about 10 minutes of it, and then I turned it off and went about my day, you know, doing some housework and stuff, and then I started hearing the theme in my head, and then I went to the piano and, you know, wrote it down, made sure I remembered it, and then went back and listened to the YouTube video to make sure I wasn't stealing it by mistake, because, you know, that might happen. So I listened to everything I listened to again, and I was like, okay, I didn't steal anything, I came up with it on my own, it was just kind of inspired from the fantasy music I was listening to, so that's it. I heard it in my head, played it, figured it out, the chord changes on the piano, recorded it, and that's it. That's how it came about.
Now, I was going to say, you know, you're a little bit crazy, but you're not, because there's two different types of things that you can hear in your head. It's either voices or music, and I hear music in my head, so people who hear music in their head, you guys are good. If you hear voices, we'll try to get those voices to go with the music in your head, guys, and you probably got a hit song right there. I think that's a good recipe. I'm not sure, it could be, but combine the voices and the music, and I think you guys got something fairly great. Now, jumping from your musical, I mean, oh God, I really love her music, guys. I cannot stress that enough. But jumping from music over to, how did you find the Steam blockchain? Steam it blockchain. I keep messing that up. I want to say Steam, but I know it's Steam, because Steam is a totally different thing. And for all my nerds out there, they're like, say lunch, come on, stop doing that. So, all right. How did you find
I know. I just got corrected on that today. I said, yeah, I heard that people say the Steam is not really decentralized. They're like, you mean Steam? I'm like, yes, the Steam blockchain. Difference between that and Steam. So, how did I hear about it? I heard from, I was just reading the comment. You know what? I think I did hear a voice on that. You know what? You have to share some info with me on that. I was just saying, just so out of it. I don't even. I'm like, what is EasyDex? Tell me. Okay. So, the husband Shane was on YouTube, and he ran into a video by Ann Jarkey, and she was talking about something completely unrelated. But he did mention Steam It, so Shane started an account, and that was May of 2017, and he made $38 on his intro post. He was so excited, and he's like, "You have to join Steam It," and it's like, "All right, I'll join," and then like I made like 80 cents on my intro post. I was like, all right, whatever, I'll give this a chance. So, yeah, and ever since we joined, I joined the open mic contest, and that was fun. And pretty much I've been doing it every day since I joined in June of 2017, and I just love it so much. It's pretty much I do it full time every day.
I'm with you on that one. My Introduce Me post got like, I think it was like 67 cents. I remember that number because I used to laugh back at it how I make a little bit more now, and I'm like, haha, my days of making 67 cents are over.
Yeah.
Take that, guys.
Right. Yeah, you know what? Shane had he did, you know how they were like saying you should hold up a piece of paper that has your name on it and your Steam It name to like show who you are and your introduce yourself post, and he did that, but he put the piece of paper in his mouth because he's a goofball, and I think that funniness just got him a bunch of upvotes. You know, I wasn't funny in my intro post, so I got 80 cents. So, you know, it just shows that humor goes a long way.
I mean, I guess now that I look back, I wasn't being that funny either. Huh, interesting. I wish somebody would have told me that. And shout out to Shane. Very, very cool dude. Hopefully I get him on the show next. Sorry, you got that insider's, tip for me right there. You're like, hey, Shane, you should just say, I'm Shane, I'm Shane.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get him on the show.
Beautiful. Now, how's your Steam It journey been, like, from day one up until now?
It's been crazy. I just, like I said, I just do it full time. So every day I feel like I have some new project. I'm exhausted. Now I'm doing Ski Monsters. So it's really full time. And I still teach piano, but I cut back on my piano teaching hours because I enjoy this much more. But yeah, just making a post every day, then working on the Steam Monsters post every day, and now working on the Steam Monsters music, and then I have the radio shows that I do on MSP, so it's just been a crazy ride.
I want to ask you if you ever got flagged, but one thing that's a little bit more prevalent than that's like pounding me in the head is, what type of show, well, of course I know what type of show you and Shane do because I show up and stuff, but for those of us who don't show up, what type of show do you and Shane host and what it's about, and, just a rundown?
We do the Steam It Creative Curation show on Sundays, and, yeah, I'm going to quit my job and play Steam Monsters, yes. The Steam It Creative Curation show, so, I think that's like week 46 we're on. I don't even know. It's been forever. And so basically I put up a post each week, and people can submit anything creative. It could be music or art or writing. And we share them and promote them during the show. And then we also use 2 different accounts to upvote 10 of those posts that we select. One of the accounts is MSP Curation. And then the other one is one that I started, which is called MSP Mix. So I use both of those accounts, and it's kind of a nice upvote. I mean, right now Steam is kind of low, so it's not that great of an upvote. But when Steam was high, it was a pretty good upvote. And so that's one show that we do. And then the other one is Steam It Musicians, and that's where we play the top 5 judges' selections from each week's open mic contest. And Shane and I do that show with Crystal. And then the other shows I do are on Saturday night. One is Minnow University, where we try to help minnows. And then the one after that is the show I do with Agro, which is called the Peace Academy, where we talk about peace, abundance, and liberty. And so, yeah.
I love that so much.
Peace, it usually turns into aggro talking about conspiracy theories, but that's okay.
Yes. So we thought he turned into the peace, abundance, and conspiracy.
It really does. And he's a talker. I'm not much of a talker, so pretty much it's his show, and I just kind of hang afterwards, so it's all good.
Oh man, I love it. Now, before we get into the Steam Monsters, how do you find all the time in the day to do all of these things? Like, it just seems like you're doing so much. Do you run out of time, or do you ever get pressed for time sometimes?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Every day, I think I put too many goals on myself, and then I get let down. That's a mistake. So, yeah, I need to organize my time much better. Like, to be able to actually, like, leave the house and do an activity at some point, rather than sitting at my computer all day. So,
see,
yeah,
I used to like want to leave the house, but then I just put on YouTube videos of people leaving the house with GoPros, and I just live vicariously through them and outside.
yeah, watch like travel vlogs and shit. So I was like,
Yep.
oh, nowadays.
Oh man, I know exactly what you mean. Now, Steam Monster, we all know it, we all love it, we all probably have a card somewhere. We're going to be having cards in our old digital attics or basements 5 to 10 years from now that are going to be worth so much. They're going to be able to buy you a Lamborghini, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Right? What is your role in Steam Monsters aside from making music? And how fun has that been?
Oh, I love it. Agrid asked me to be the content director, which initially I think he wanted us to write together the stories, but then that kind of morphed into, we really wanted the community involved. So the writing of the story arcs has become more of a community thing, which is cool. So basically, I just put together content to go on the Steam Monsters account. So, I have contests, I have writing contests, art contests. We have that huge 1500 SVD, huge writing contest to get the main story arc going. So it's basically just putting the whole content creation behind Steam Monsters together is what we're focused on right now. And then over the last couple of weeks, we started now implementing the music into that. And, Agrid says he hopes that the gameplay will be ready by September, so I hope so. But basically, we're working on all of kind of the back end kind of stuff for it right now, the music and the stories, and hopefully we'll get gameplay in September. But I finally just got all of my cards, so I'm really excited about that. So my deck is complete, except for the gold foil. I don't have all those yet.
I love it that we can be, older now and still be talking nerdy about card games. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Those days were behind me, right?
Right. No, I'm not an adult yet. That's okay. I didn't grow up.
See, I agree with you there. I'm still a child, everyone. I know that earlier I said I was an adult, but I'm a child who drinks whiskey. Don't judge me. We're all still children.
Yeah, there's no judgment here.
Now, I'm going to be the first person to say this. Even though I love all the writers who do writing for Steam Monsters, I think, and this is my own personal opinion, which EasyDex is personally responsible for, but I think that having you, Isaria, write it would have been magical. Yeah, it probably would have taken you a while, and yeah, that probably would have added more work to your load, but who cares? Who cares, right? I feel like you wrote such great lore, just because you had the vision to create the music, which is so on point. I feel like that would have just morphed into the greatest lore ever. And you don't have to speak on it because I know that you don't want to piss anybody off. But I personally think that if Isaria was in charge of writing it all, which I still think she should be, I vote Isaria for Steam Monsters president, lore writer. 2019.
I am Steam Monsters president. Thank you, Sir Lunch.
Oh man, I don't know. I just feel like the artist in you and the creativity side that you have, it just brings so much to it. But then I understand wanting to give the chance to other people to write the lore, and it's a lot easier. And shout out to everyone who's holding cards right now. Good job. Good for you. You're going to have a Lambo off of one of those cards. So just keep it in your digital attics until... Did I say attics or attics?
Hey, man, you can have more than one attic, sure. That would come in handy. You know what? They have that whole Monster Trader thing on their website now. And that started last week. Okay, so one of my gold foils was a that gold chromatic dragon. Okay, so I was like, all right, whatever. I'll put it up on this trader thing, and I saw someone else had it up for, I think it was like $4.99. So I put mine up to sell for $4.25 USD, and it sold.
Nice. So
yeah,
you guys hear here first. You guys can now sell those cards and make some money, but I would suggest, being a huge card collector guy, nerd person, if they're worth $4 now, they'll be worth $8 in a month, and $12 in 2 months, and in 6 months, they'll be worth a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini that you can put a helicopter pad on top of and use a jetpack to get to. Save those cards. Save all of those cards.
It's really true, because as soon as it sold, I immediately went through the loss of, that you get after you sell a card, I'm like, oh, my chromatic dragon is gone, Yeah, so I really hope that they will be worth something a lot more. I think they will be, so I'm excited about it.
I have to sidestep real quick. Chucky Fucky, did you call me a sex addict? Is that what that means? Like, you can't be using big words in here, Chucky. I get all deterred. Oh, money addict. Come on, aren't we all money addicts when it comes to crypto, though? Like, don't we all want to make as much money in crypto as we possibly can?
Yeah.
I think we're all klepto peoples, because I can't say the word, but we're all kleps. Yes, we're all that. What she said.
We're cryptomaniacs. Yeah. Yeah, I totally missed out on everything with Bitcoin. I had no idea what was going on in life. Like I said before earlier, you said you're in the corner office. I'm out of the office. I have no idea what's happening. So I missed that boat. So I'm happy to be on Steam relatively early, and I'm hoping that they'll just take off when SMTs get here. I hope.
You see, I just have to say, this is for SMTs. We knew that you were supposed to come in 2018, and you still haven't showed up. My heart is dropped to my stomach, and I still pray every night to the blockchain gods that SMTs will be coming. I actually have a little bit of insight. I'm gonna let you guys know this. They're having a meeting in Toronto. I think it's September-ish, and it's going to be the Steemic Creative Community / SMT Summit. You heard that from me, and it's actually true. I'm not bullshitting you guys. Look into that. So if anyone lives in Toronto, go out there and go ask them that face to face. What's up with them SMTs, bro? All right? Like, I sold my car, I sold everything for an SMT, and then I came. And then I had to get an Indulge coin, and yo, great piece of advice. If you guys don't know what to do with your crypto, just sit it in Dogecoin. It'll be completely safe there. Like, trust me, I have sat so much money over there, and you know what? It works. Trust me. And BitConnect, oh my, you know what? I guess I'll take the BitConnect gifts over the Nickelback gifts. And shout out to Boyer for not giving me a Nickelback reference or gift. I love you, man.
It's not just like a thing, like in all Discords, there's always some Nickelback gift going.
You know what I think happened? I think there was one kid who was really sad about the bear market a few months ago, right? And he started listening to Nickelback, and I don't know who this kid is, but he had to spread it to everyone else. So then one person then got sad, and then was like, oh, I'm going to listen to Nickelback. And then it just spread like an uncontrollable virus that now every community you go into, you just see some kind of Nickelback reference. It doesn't matter where you are, you hear about Nickelback. And, I'm not going to lie. When I was younger, Nickelback sang to my heart, all right? I was one of those guys that was listening to Nickelback before my people told me, yo, this is whack. All right?
I know. Yeah, there was actually one or two songs that I actually did like. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say. Sorry, I didn't realize they sucked that bad. You
know what? Me and Isaria are gonna lock arms right now and say that Nickelback doesn't suck. It just sucks for the crypto space, right? But if you're not in the crypto space, get that Nickelback tattoo on your lower back. I think we'll call that Nickel stamp. And just show. Oh, there it is. Walrus did.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
The Nickelback tramp stamp.
We all need to go get nickel stamps, guys, to show our love for Nickelback. Because as much as we may hate on it now, I'm pretty sure about 89% of us have sung a song once or twice. Can't lie about it, guys. Come on. We know we have. We can admit it here. We need to have like a Nickelback intervention for all the people who are like hating it but really love
That's
it.
right.
Like, we need to just talk about it. Open up our feelings, guys.
I know, we need to talk about it. It's okay to like Nickelback.
Oh man, that's too great. Now, getting back a little bit on track, how did you find the MSP community? And how did you rise to power so quickly? You're like overlord.
Rise to power?
Sorry, it's rise to power.
I'm the president of Steam It now. Oh, man.
In the community, right? A lot of people know you. A lot of people love you. You run a whole bunch of shows. You're involved with like everything. So I would call that a nice rise to power, right?
Well, thank you. Well, like when I first joined, I think the first week was when Agro started the MSP Discord. So that was like my first week. So, and I had no idea what was happening. And Shane found this post, and we just went in there. And Shane was very involved in MSP, and he quickly became a moderator. I'm not much of a chatty person. I'm kind of shy, and I was focused on, I kind of got back into music. Before Steam It, I had kind of taken a break. I got burnt out on music. I was living in New York, and I was working with a band, and everything just fell apart, and there was so much drama, and I was like, ugh. I just got to take a break from music, and I moved to
Wait,
Texas.
I have to interrupt you, though. Isn't New York, like, a terrible place for artistry? Like, because I went to New York, and I make music, like, because I used to do travel blogging, right? And when I went to New York, I couldn't find any inspiration at all. Like, it was hard for me to find inspiration to do music there. Like, did you have the same kind of, like, battles?
Oh, yeah. New York sucks. And plus, I was on Long Island, New York, which is, like, ugh.
Is it really a Long Island?
Yeah, it's just suburbs, and every bar just wants to hear covers. No one wants to hear original music. It was just not fun. So, yeah, New York sucks. But Texas is much better for the music scene.
Oh, I love Texas. Texas is so awesome.
Yeah, Texas is fun. We're in Austin, Texas, which is, they have all those festivals and stuff. So, well, yeah, I like it.
And I don't want, like, I saw that Laura Dan of Steamtown through some. If you're Latino, we know you love New York. I don't know why. But, all the Latinos should come to California. You'll love it there even more. Trust me. There's not crowded streets. There's not people getting hit all the time. There's just not as much noise. Like, I noticed there's so much noise in New York. And I remember watching the Ghostbusters as a kid before I even went to New York. And they would, like, show, like, the steam coming out of, like, that's almost in every New York movie, right? Like, the steam coming out of the streets. Yeah. And when I got there was actually steam coming out of the streets. I was like, this is, like, too much. This is too much.
Every time I went into the city, when I would leave, I'd take the train back, and I felt like I had, like, a grime, just, like, a layer of slimy grime on me, just from being in the city. It's just dirty. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of New York City, but I'm seeing in the chat here, what is this? Florida has a mad music movement, because I want to move to Florida. I'm trying to get Shane to move there. So I have a mad music movement.
Florida because I went to Disney World, and it rained the whole time I was there, and that trip cost me so much money. And then when I get there, it's raining and it's humid, and I'm just like, oh my god, why? Why are we doing this humid, hot stuff, guys?
Well, I'm always cold. I'm a vampire, so I like the heat. But yeah, sometimes, certain times of the seasons, you definitely get more rain. These gifts. Yeah. All right, but you totally asked me a question and I forgot what it was. About MSP, right?
Yes, MSP.
Yeah, I joined MSP my first week. Shane became a moderator. I focused on trying to, I just kind of got inspired again to do music. So I was doing open mics every week, and that was fun. But then I was like, all right, I got to try to be more part of be friendly and be part of a community. So I started to get into MSP more, and then I eventually became the moderator. I started the curation project, so we have that going on there. Started doing the radio shows. What else? I guess that's about it. I mean, basically, I would say the MSP helped me to grow on Steam. And I think community is so important. Just being friends with people. And then since then I've kind of joined other communities like Healthy and the Alliance, and it's just fun to meet people and like chat with them and Discord and stuff. So that's cool. I remember when I first joined the Walrus, there was that one community we were in, Steam Magic. That was fun. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, I remember when MSP was first created. I was kind of there, and people were asking me to do shows, and oh man, shout out to me being lazy. One of the requirements, right? One of the requirements was that you had to do a show for 2 hours. And I'm like, on one hand, I could definitely do a show for 2 hours. But on the other hand, if it's required,
I hate that. I hate that.
2 hours is way too long, right?
Yes.
It's like, oh, come on, guys. Like, I totally would have done a show, but it's like 2 hours, man. Like, you guys are literally killing me. 1 hour, I can get through it. The second hour, I'm like, okay, I'm dragging my feet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about my grandma and how she made me some cookies, but those cookies are terrible.
my grandma she's been emailing me about bite ball. I mean, what the?
Oh, God. Okay, we have to talk about it now. Okay, so we were talking a little bit before about it, but have you, I've been getting bite ball messages from everybody. Bite ball was almost like winning the lottery for me in a sense, because when you win the lottery, everyone that didn't talk to you before starts talking to you, and they start coming out of the woodworks. I had so many people who would stop talking to me, be like, hey, Sir Lunch, I know it's been a while, but why don't you sign up to Bite Ball? It's going to be really great. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It is going to be great. And then I click it, and it's the referral link, and I'm like, oh, you think I'm some sort of crypto prostitute where you can just make money off of me, you crypto pimp.
I know, it's so true about the people you haven't heard from in months. And they're look, I got a message from so-and-so. Hey, have you heard about Bite Ball? Yes.
I'm actually, I've told a lot of people to bite my balls after that, to the people, I'm just bite my balls, guys. Because again, it got to the point where, I would go to my grandma's house, right, and she'd be like, hey, you want some cookies? And I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Grandma, let me get those cookies. And she'd be like, well, only use my referral link to Bite Ball. And I'm like, God damn it, Grandma, really? You too?
Damn it, Grandma.
No, Grandma, why? What's your take on the whole Bite Ball madness? Personally, I'm like, I get it. It's okay. I get it, right? If you're in, and this is no slight to anyone who lives in a second or third world country, okay? This is no slight to you. So I know that when somebody's like, here's free money, you're like, at one USD is 12 of your dollars, 30 of your dollars. So I get that, right?
Right.
But in America, when you're sign up, and it's well, $80 doesn't even pay my electricity bill.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know. Hey, but you know what? It's free money, but I have not done it yet. Hey, have you done it yet?
Okay, so when Bite Ball first started hitting the chain or whatever, at first, because I heard about it in a Discord, this is gonna sound terrible. I'm in a Discord with Trayvon James and Craig Grant. Fuck, that made me cringe a little bit. But I'm in a Discord. I'm waiting for the big gifts to start showing up. I'm in a Discord, and that's why I first heard about it. And I was like, okay, that's clearly a fucking, Ponzi. But then all of a sudden, like zombies coming out on Halloween, people were like, Bite Ball, and I'm like, damn, did did Trayvon really do a good job, like, getting everyone? And then I saw, like, Bernie Sanders post something about bite ball. And then, so a close friend of mine, hit me up and was like, hey, man, have you heard about bite ball? And, me being the wonderful person I am, I was like, I played the blonde. I was like, oh, my God, what's bite ball? I've never heard of that before. And they're like, yeah, man, you sign up and it's free money. And I'm like, oh, my God, free money? That's so awesome. And he's like, you just have to download a wallet. And I'm like, no, I do not want to download a wallet because Steam has taught me that I don't need to download wallets. Right? The wallet is on the chain. And that's what I love so much about Steam. If there's one thing that I do love, it's right there. Yeah. Right? So, like, if I have to download something, I'm like, bro, come on, right?
I know. I'm the same way. I know. But that's mostly out of ignorance because, like I said, I knew nothing about anything about crypto before I joined Steam. So, to me, when someone's like, you have to download a wallet, I'm like, what? What wallet? I don't know.
Exactly. The only wallet I have is on Steam and the one that I keep in my pocket, and I don't have to download either of those. So I'm real old school in that sense. And I mean, and I have to say this, and I'm sorry to everyone who did bite ball, but I hope that bite ball just steals everything from you guys. Okay, I don't mean that, but come on, guys.
I don't mean that.
I don't mean that, but it's like, bite ball was such like, because it literally, I've been on Steam for like, I don't know, 2 years and whatnot, and bite ball was the first thing since Steam it as the too good to be true, right? Oh, you're going to get a free $80, and then you hold a smart contract, and you get $80 later. And it is on CoinMarketCap, and I think it's on Bittrex, so like, it's tradable. But it was just one of those things, and maybe it was the whiskey talking to me at the time, but I was like, after getting like 20 DMs about bite ball, I literally, and again, EasyDex is completely responsible for the next, set of words that are coming out of my mouth. I was like, I hope you all die. And then, I took a couple more drinks, and I was like, all right, well, don't die, but just stop hitting me up about bite ball, please. Like, my thing is, free money is free money. If you want the free money, go get it. But, like, people would start to get kind of upset with me, right? So, like, after they asked me, I'd be like, well, honestly, I can only sign up to one, unless you're, like, one of those people who... Hold on. Unless you were one of those people who decided to open up multiple accounts. Yes, an army of accounts and all these fake things, and oh, God, it grinds my gears. Like, okay, I get it, it's free money, but gosh darn it, the Jeebus, do we have to start making fake accounts and trying to get those accounts up to a certain rep, and I know.
That's what people are doing now? They're just trying to scam it or something and do a bunch of fake accounts?
Oh, yeah, there's so many, because, like, they have the reputation thing where it's like, if your reputation is this, you get this and that. So, like, people, and it doesn't take much to get your account up to just a minimum. So, like, when I saw a bunch of people, like, creating all these accounts and then pumping their reps to 40, I was like, see, this is kind of created a problem, in a sense, right? Where it's like, now we got a bunch of fake accounts and fake accounts. It's a pain in my ass.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that is a problem.
I literally thought bite ball... Or go ahead.
Yeah, if people use, bid bots, then they can easily get their rep up in a week or so, yeah.
Right. And I'm just like, I mean, unless everyone took the initiative to get bite ball, trade that into Bittrex and buy Steam, then okay, you got me, I'm not going to complain, go get that Steam. But for the majority of people who literally just cash it out, I'm like, well, you didn't do what you... I'm like a little whiny brat when it comes to this. You didn't do what you should have done by putting it back into the platform.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I get whiny sometimes, but I'm like, all right, if bite ball is going to utilize our reputation, we should at least be getting more Steam with it. You know what I mean? And you know what? Snuffles, you are not the only person who traded in their house, their family, their Priuses to get Steam Monsters card. Trust me, I know there should be like a Steam Monsters Anonymous group.
Yeah. I know.
Because it's like a lot of people gave up like everything. Like I remember, one of my friends is gonna send his kid to college, and then he hits me up and he's like, Lunch, I did something terribly wrong, and I'm like, what? He's like, I didn't save up for both of my kids to go to college so I can get more Steam Monsters cards. And I can hear his kid in the background crying, like, I'm not going to college. And it's just like, you're on the right path, bro. You're definitely on the right path.
Yeah, you know what? Pay for your own college, you know? He can pay for his own college. Or he can just buy Steam Monsters cards. I don't know. College.
Very true. Like, now I think Steam Monsters is going to be one of those things that you invest in to actually get your kids into college.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know, Sarah, I've got this super golden, super ultra golden rare dragon right here, and I love it, but I think it's time to send you to college. Put that on the market.
Yes.
$1 zillion.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope so.
I'm hoping that I can buy a yacht one day. Like, I literally, and then I'll get like on the side of it painted like Steam It and Steam Monsters help me get this yacht, guys.
Yeah.
And I'll have like the dragon painted on the side, and it's gonna be like, this yacht is ultra super mega rare. You know, it's dreams though, guys.
Well, wait a minute. Is it gonna be a legendary yacht or a rare or epic? Gold foil legendary yacht. Yeah.
We should, okay, you know what? And I'm going to coin this right here, or I'm going to like copyright it. We should have a gold platinum asteroid card. You know what I mean? Like diamond, super extra fancy. You know, I need that platinum extra diamond fancy card. Really, I do. Oh God, Steam Monsters, you have taken and given me so much all at once. It's so crazy. And didn't they make like a ridiculous amount in the beginning? I think it was like 40K in Steam or something. Like, it was huge.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, you know what? Man.
People went crazy. Yeah, they went crazy buying those cards. I know. The game's not even out yet, so.
It was great. I sat back and I was like, Aggro's kids are going to Harvard. Right, he's sending those guys to Harvard, man. Like, and I'm glad that they get to go to Harvard. But for the rest of us who dropped out of Harvard and sold everything, and like, I know there's some people out there who probably stole from their mom's purses, got that credit card going, and their moms don't even know what Steam Monsters is, bro. They're like, what is this? What is this account for Bittrex? Like, what am I being charged for? And he's like, shut up, Mom, it's your Steam Monsters. You don't know anything about it.
Yep.
Just leave it alone. It's gonna be worth money.
What? They don't know about Steam Monsters, but I bet she knows about Bite Ball, probably.
Oh my God, right? Right? She's like, well, I don't know about Steam Monsters, little Timmy, but have you signed into Bite Ball yet? Come on, Mom, really?
I know, my mom just sent me a text about it the other day. It's so annoying. No, okay, so once again, I'm out of the office. What is this? Don't worry, you have the PB tokens, so you can have it anyway. What does that mean? Everyone else knows what it means, because there's 10 million emojis there. Help me.
Right, so who wants to step up and explain this to Isaria? Because you guys know that, I'm just terrible at explaining things.
And
so
you have to explain it to me like I'm... Because this is... If it has to do with crypto, then just break it down.
Well, all you really have to say, Isaria, is you have to explain it to me like I'm Sir Lunch. And that is the... They got you. They got that whole thing covered. So, Walrus or Patalinko, would you, either of you, or Chucky, Fucky, or John Scotts, want to talk about EasyDex to Isaria really quickly? Alright, I'll do it. No, I'm going to do it. Here we go. So, EasyDex is a place that you take your crypto and, Patalinko, you have the floor. No, it's like a DEX where you can trade your crypto for fiat. I know that much, right? So, like, if I had Steam, I could send it over to the DEX, and then I could sell that Steam on the DEX for fiat. Am I right, everyone? Is that an accurate, quick description of what the DEX is? And John Scotts, what do you mean?
Yeah, but we don't have Bite Balls. Sorry.
I'm so glad that you don't. And John Scotts, what was you were saying about the decks and cards? You said so much to the host. Here you go. EasyDex Steam Monsters help. We support all at EasyDex. Oh, well, what does that mean?
I created a room for Steam Monsters addicts who need help. We'll try to convince them to sell their cards and buy PB tokens. That's what I mean.
Okay. All right. Okay, so PB is a token. It's a new token. What does PB stand for?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Portfolio builder.
Okay.
And so basically, if you're holding a PB token, peanut butter and jelly tokens, then you get the shared drop of, okay, this is where I get really confused here. So hold on. You get a shared drop of the fees on the DEX, right?
The fees that are paired with the purchase.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I think you got it like 50% right, so I'm taking a shot to that, guys. 50% of the collected fees of the gateways go to people who hold PBs, and I think the more PBs you hold, the more of the token that you get, right?
Alright.
Oh, I'm so good at my fucking job, guys. Trust me. I'm so good.
You are. I'll pass the on.
We just made like 2 hours ago the screenshot for the next share drop. I'll distribute tomorrow here shares.
Ooh, love. That is an old school one, right? I remember hearing about World Shares during the World Shares days, and I'm glad to see that that initiative is still going. Love you, Patalinko, for doing that. Hair shares. If I had enough hair to donate, I definitely would, but you know, I don't have hair like Ned. Sad face. I really wish I had better hair. Thank you. See, Lord Ganestein knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I need that wavy hair that when I'm in a convertible, it just like, and even if I lose it when I'm 50 because I'm balding in the middle, that's fine. I just want it now. Just get it now. I will only spend a Bitcoin on good hair. Alright, I promise you. So anyone who can give me some good hair, I'm going to give you a Bitcoin. I'm just throwing that out there. Because I love it. And thank you, John Scotts, for explaining that we do have a Sea Monsters Anonymous where you can sit and talk about how Sea Monsters has not ruined your life, but altered it a little bit. You know what I mean? Just change the way that you were living. Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. And anyone who has the Sea Monsters folks or fever, please go there, check in. And I think once you go into that room, everyone's name becomes addict. So you won't even know who's there. You know, everyone's an addict. So feel comfortable, feel safe. Everything is anonymous in there. It's wonderful. It's great. And if not, well then, tell them to do that so you guys don't have to look at each other like, I know you. And then, you know, it's anonymous. We can all wear a mask or something like that. Now, Isaria, I'm going to jump back to music. What keeps you going as far as music, right? Like, what keeps you wanting to create, and what keeps you fresh in creating music?
Well, like I said, I was kind of burnt out on music, and Steam was inspiring. So basically, I just like to create now and post it, and I like using D-Sound, D-Live, and now I'm inspired to create that more fantasy music for Steam Monsters, which is, you know, most of the stuff that I usually create are songs. So, you know, doing instrumental stuff now is it's a challenge, and I like, you know, that challenge is kind of it's an inspiration to me. You know, it's something different, something I'm not used to doing, so that's cool.
I love it so much. And before we wrap this up, because we're running a little bit over time, I want to say that once you have like the full Steam Monster soundtrack, I definitely am the first person in line, because I'm the first person to say this. I would love a signed copy, hard copy. You know, I'll pay whatever amount of money to get that, but I would love a signed copy of that, because if we had a Billboard 100 for the blockchain, which I think I'm going to create. Yeah. If we had one, that's going straight to the top. Like, that is going to go platinum in no time. So I definitely want to be the one that gets the first physical copy. Forget the digital copy. I'm super old school. If you can put it on a vinyl for me, even better. Right? I love vinyls. And, oh man, you know what? We definitely need the top Billboard 100 for blockchain-based music. I mean, a lot of, and some people are going to take offense to this, but just like any industry that's first starting out, right, I find that there's a lot of, how do I put this nicely, trash music, you know, like, I feel like a lot of people came to the blockchain thinking that they could be an artist or whatnot, and, you know, one thing I respect about our platform is that we're not we're not critics. And sometimes we need critics, especially in music, but for the most part, we're not too hard on people when they post something that we're like cringing at or something. So I would like to say that we also need a critics panel. And just because you see someone else in the chain doing music doesn't mean that you can't. Stay in your lane, guys. It's already hard for us actual musicians to get stuff done. And now we got all you wannabes coming in here. It's not cool. Stay in your lane, man. Stay in your lane.
Tell him, Sir Lunch. All right, but thank you so much for saying all those nice things, and a hard copy would be awesome. I'll definitely, if we do that, you'll be the.
Thank you. And you know what? I didn't even have to because sometimes when I talk to people on the show, I have to make up nice things to say about them. But for you, every nice thing that I've said has actually been earned. Like, I've seen you do so much in different areas, and I'm like, only things that can be said are nice things. And I know sometimes you like to downplay yourself, but I'm here to play it up loud. That Isaria is very vital to the community. She is a wonderful artist. She does wonderful to the chain.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
She's like our dark goddess, right? I'm gonna call you the dark goddess. She is. We need to pray to her and sacrifice crows and rabbits. I mean, don't kill them, but just pretend to do it and then let them free. Because I don't think she wants us to kill them or anything. But yeah, we should fake sacrifice crows and rabbits for her success.
Fake sacrifice, yes.
You think fake sacrifice? Because I mean, in the music industry, it's crazy, but in the actual music industry, there's always talk about people being sacrificed for someone else's fame, which I never understood that. I don't understand the allure to that. And I've always told myself, if I'm ever gonna get super famous, I'm gonna just tell all my friends, you better get the fuck away from me, because one of you guys are probably gonna die with my success. Have someone who's becoming successful, I'm like, you know what? I love you as a person, but I don't want to die because of your success. Right. So fake sacrificing should be a thing. You pretend to kill your friends so you get famous. Maybe you give them $1,000 to go to ski for a while, and they just drink some Long Islands, and they're good. And then they come back once you've got your millions. You don't need to kill anyone, guys.
That's right. We have a plan now. Okay. I'm glad we sorted that out.
I mean, it would be one of those things where it's like you go to fame, and then we're like, well, where's Shane? Where did Shane go?
We it's just a fake sacrifice, yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for tuning in with me and coming here. And thank you, Main Event. If you're still here, no, he had to go. But thank you, Main Event, for coming in. This is a great interview. We're going to be coming to a close. So, Brian, your job is just about over at Walrus. So is your job. If anyone has questions for Isaria, throw them up right now. I'll give you guys 5 seconds to do so. But I'm usually pretty good at this thing, so no one has any questions. There's going to be no questions. It's all going to be love.
Thank you for inviting me on the show. You're an awesome host.
I have a question.
Oh, John Scott just ruined my perfect fucking record. Go ahead, John Scott. What do you got to ask?
Would you explain to me what PB token means, Isaria? Isaria?
Okay, let's see. It is a token, okay? So that's all I got, and I'm going to get one. And EasyDex is the place where you can go for all of your tokens and exchange them for fiat. Is that right?
I think she has a job as the official spokeswoman, guys. Because that's exactly how I would have said it.
She's hired. She's hired.
Yes, hired.
We'll start seeing your name in the media team section, Isaria. Good job, right. Good job.
Yay!
And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Not like you don't have enough jobs already, though, right?
Right, yes, it's important to have at least 1,000 jobs, so.
But isn't that awesome? I want to close on this, guys. Isn't it so awesome that, 3 years ago we had to work actual jobs, but now we can get on the blockchain and give our net worth and have our own jobs and make money? Isn't that so amazing?
Yeah. I know, I love it so much. You have no idea.
No more 9 to 5s and SpaghettiOs and Top Ramen, kids.
Yeah,
We're upgrading.
yeah. No more Top Ramen.
Unless the markets are low, then we're going back to Top Ramen. I had to. My dog is eating Top Ramen. I can't. When the prices were high, my dog was eating like the best of the best food covered in gold, and now we share a bowl of Top Ramen every night. So shout out to my dog who also goes through with me on these hard times. I love you, and I hope that Top Ramen is not hurting you, my lovely dog. I love you so much, and I love all the pets out there. With that being said, I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, keep it easy. Wait, dang it! I had a cough. I'm gonna do that again. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, keep it easy, Dex. And thank you guys, and I will see you next week on Friday. You don't have to leave, but I was going to say you definitely have to get the fuck out of here, but I don't want to say that either. So hold on, give me a second. Don't get the fuck out of here, because you don't have to leave. Right? I reversed it there, but, it's Friday. Everyone has things to do. Oh, I have to do my normal thing without telling people to stay safe. It's Friday. Don't drink too much. Don't get abducted by strangers. Please be careful out there. I want to make sure that everyone comes back next week and they're all safe and sound. Don't take drinks from strangers at the bar. It's not a good idea. Because usually if you do, you're going to wake up in a hotel room with someone trying to get you to get in the bike ball with the referral code. So don't do it. Don't do it, guys.
And don't get abducted by aliens either.
Yes. Don't get abducted by aliens. They're the ones that come from outer space. And that won't be a problem soon because we're going to have Space Force. I think that needs like a heavy metal rock song. Space Force. And, the other aliens, who want to abduct us because we're rich Americans. Or they think we're rich Americans and they think they can get a ransom for us. But they really can't because we're poor.
Yeah. So,
shout out to all those foreign people that like to take Americans when we're in the EU. We don't have any money, guys.
Right.
Like, we're just poor, so abducting us, we're actually probably going to ask you for money, so I'm just throwing it out there. You abduct us, we're going to be like, this took up a lot of time, I actually need some money from you. It's a sad thing, guys, so, and shout out to Neptune, whoever Neptune is, unless that's a planet. You're fake news to me, Chuck. Yeah, no, shout out to the planet Neptune. Love you for always tuning in. Thank you, Neptune. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. He said that chick looks like Med. You know what? If you turn your head sideways, it kind of does. It kind of does. With that being said, I love you all. You don't have to leave. You don't have to get the fuck out of here. But I know it's Friday and you got things to do. I'm going to jump out real quick to give myself a shot. And I love you all. Stay in crypto and stay true to yourselves. Peace out, guys.